Hi guys, welcome to another Figuring Out Japan video. We sell all the coolest Japanese collectibles and figurines straight out of Japan, and you can check out more details about us in the description of this video, including our Facebook page and our eBay store. So this review is going to be of the Admirals, or I guess they're called Admirals, but it's kind of like the Navy in One Piece. And this series was actually a follow-up to the Shichibukai, or Seven Warlords set, which actually had 8 figures. And I was going to name them, maybe I can. Jinbei, Boa Hancock, Dracula Mihawk, Doflamingo, Blackbeard, Crocodile. What were the two I didn't mention? Bartholomew Kuma and Gecko Moria. There you go. So that had 8 figures, and then this was sort of followed up with 4 figures, and I'm going to show you them all today actually. But yeah, they're pretty much the same size and the same base, this same hexagonal black base. So they actually look really good together. It'd make a great display to have the 7, or the 8, I guess, Warlords and the 4 Admirals. So really, you can pretty much recreate the whole Marineford incident. And if you wanted to create, you know, like the sort of pirates, there's just been released a Dramatic Showcase Series 5 figure, which has basically Dying Ace and Crying Luffy together. And, you know, there's of course figures of Whitebeard and Marco and the whole crew. You could actually quite literally make a whole Marineford thing. You can even actually buy figures of the Moby Dick, which is Whitebeard's ship. So you could literally create a very realistic scene of that. But anyway, let's get into the figures. So the box is actually pretty big. It was bigger than I expected. It's 200 by 150 by 100 millimeters, which is actually the same size as the MSPs. So if you've been collecting the MSPs, you can see that they are the same size and the same width. So they're pretty big. This is actually a new figure. In fact, we just got shipment of this today. It's the new Rorona Zoro MSP. Looks pretty cool. Alright, let's get him out of the way. So, pretty big box. I really like the artwork as well of their sort of headquarters. Of course, got the gold Toei Animation sticker. And just some sort of different views of the same figure. So there are all the 4 figures in the series. And then the top and the bottom are pretty much the same. I know that's upside down, but that's the box. So let's have a look at the figure. So the figure itself is about 175 millimeters, which is a little bit under 6 inches. So to sort of give a perception of size, that's an iPhone 5 case, so some pretty good height in that. And it basically comes in 5 pieces. You've got the lower half of the body, and then it connects to the top half of the body, and then you've got the what would you call that, cape or jacket, and then there's a little stand at the back, which I'll talk about, and then there's the actual base itself. So one good thing actually that I won't show you and pull it out, but the pins are actually in the base, so that the pins go into the feet, which is a really good design improvement. They used to do it the other way with the pins coming out of the feet, and they'd always break. So I'm really glad that these ones actually have the pins in the base going into the feet. And there's really nice detail in this figure. You can see like the nice sort of gold finish on the buckles of his shoes, and the sort of pinstripe on his suit. And just the toning and the shading. That's not the lighting of this video, that's actually just how good the sort of paint job is of this figure. Some really good toning. You got details like the cufflinks and the buttons. He's got a watch. I think that's meant to be a watch, which looks a little bit bland, I guess, but yeah. And then I really like the face. They really captured the character of Kizaru. Whoops, the way that he's meant to look with his eyes and that. Actually, in the Master Roshi S Cultures figures, they actually had the sunglasses a separate piece, but I think that looks fine. and you've got his beard and everything else. So it looks pretty impressive, and when you have all four of them together, it looks very, very cool. Again, really nice shading in the jacket. Again, that's not lighting from this video, that's the paint job. Looks really good. If you're wondering what that means, it means Seigi in Japanese, which means justice. And you'll notice that the same, it's a bit hard to show, but the same kanji is actually written on the base, and it says marine. So it's a pretty cool figure. Now you can very easily just, famous last words perhaps, just take that off. So if you wanted to display the figure without the jacket, then you could do that as well. I think he looks better with it, but you could have him without it, no problem. And you might be wondering what this is for. You can take it out if you want, and you could even display him without it. You don't need it to sit on there. That's fine, that's no problem. So you might be wondering why do they have it? I was trying to think of that myself. I think the reason, if you have a look here, so the hole goes, let me put it back in, so the hole goes here. So you can see all that gap there. So I think the purpose of that, it doesn't actually have like a clip to go in. I think the point of it, and I could be wrong, but I don't see why else it would be, is to have the jacket kind of sitting back. And it sort of gives that impression of sort of wind blowing and sort of pushing the jacket back. So if I show you the same angle, you can see that it's now actually behind that pin. So they even went to that extent to give it like the right pose and the right effect, which is a bit of overkill, I think, but it's pretty impressive that they actually thought that far ahead. So you can see it sort of goes back on an angle. So a very cool figure. I'll now show you the other ones in the series. And unfortunately these aren't open, and I'm not going to open them because they need to go to a customer. I'll be sending them today. But pretty much the same box design, but just different figures. This is obviously Akainu, and you can see this was actually volume 2, so he was released with Aokiji, which I have here. This is Aokiji. You'll notice as well that the sort of collar, not collar, the sleeve, whatever you want to call it, is actually like the same, matches the color of the character. So obviously Aokiji's ability is ice, so he tends to wear blue. So that's a pretty cool figure. And then the last one, of course, is Sengoku, the Fleet Admiral. So you've got this nice medallion and medal. So you can see they all pretty much have the same kind of, you know, they're all the same size, they're all the same design, same base. So they look really good together as a set. We actually sell them as a set. We don't bother selling them individually. But if you wanted one particular one, that's fine. We just send us a message. We can organise that. But usually people want the set. You even get the bird. Pretty cool. So yeah, so that's the Sengoku, and then my space is probably a little bit small to show you the three, but you know, you sort of get the idea. I'll take a photo and use that as the cover image of this video, so you can see what it all looks like together. But yeah, very, very cool. Now you might be wondering, hey, I want a figure of Garp. There is actually a great figure of Garp that was released in the Will of D series. So pretty much same size and design, although the base is like a semi-transparent red, but you could do that. There was also a Garp in the Grand Line Men series. So it was actually one of the first ones. It's volume 0, along with Shanks. So you could definitely add Garp in there as well, which would be cool. But anyway, that is the Admirals DX series of 4 complete set. I think it was released in 2011. So pretty old and collectible now, but still great figures and would really look good as a display piece. So thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video.